Day 1. The letter arrived on black paper. Thorn held it between his fingers. The wax seal was already broken. His father must have read it first. His father always read everything first. 100 days, his father said from across the study. His voice was flat, empty. The curse has been passed to you. Thorn looked up. His father stood by the window. Gray hair, gray suit, gray face. The old man looked like he was made of stone. I don't believe in curses, Thorn said. His father laughed. It was not a happy sound. Your grandfather said the same thing. He died on day 100. My brother said the same thing. He died on day 100. I said the same thing 30 years ago. I survived only because the curse passed to someone else before my time ended. Thorn set the letter down. His hands did not shake. He would not let them shake. And now it's mine, he said. Now it's yours. The study felt smaller suddenly. The walls pressed in. The air tasted like old books and dying flowers. What do I do? Thorn asked. His father turned from the window. His eyes were wet. Thorn had never seen his father cry. Not once. Not even when Mother died. You live, his father said. You live like every moment matters. Because now it does. Thorn left the study. He walked through the manor, past portraits of dead ancestors, past rooms full of expensive things that meant nothing, past servants who bowed and smiled and did not know he was dying. He stepped outside. The autumn air bit his skin. The sky was gray. Everything was gray. 100 days. He counted them in his head. 100 sunrises, 100 sunsets, 100 chances to breathe, to think, to feel. It was not enough. It would never be enough. But something inside him shifted, something sharp and clear. If he only had 100 days, he would not waste them inside these walls. He would not die surrounded by cold stone and colder people. He would live, even if it killed him. Day 3. Thorn found her in the village market. She was arguing with a baker about the price of bread. Her cheeks were flushed. Her eyes sparked with anger. She wore a simple brown dress, and her dark hair fell loose around her shoulders. She was the most alive person he had ever seen. You raised the price again, she said to the baker. Her voice was sharp, strong. Last week it was 3 coins. Now you want 5. The baker crossed his thick arms. Flour costs more. Everyone knows that. Flour costs the same. You're just greedy. The baker's face turned red. You calling me a liar, girl? I'm calling you what you are. Thorn watched from beside a fruit cart. He should walk away. He should leave her to her argument. He had only 97 days left. He did not have time for strangers. But he could not look away. The baker leaned forward. His shadow fell over her. Buy the bread or leave my stall. She did not step back, did not flinch. She lifted her chin and met the baker's glare with fire in her eyes. I'll leave, she said, and I'll tell everyone in the village what you're doing. By tomorrow, you won't have any customers left. The baker's mouth opened, closed, opened again. She turned and walked away. Her steps were quick and angry. She passed right by Thorn without seeing him. He followed. He did not plan to. His feet just moved. One step, then another. He followed her through the market, past stalls selling fish and cloth and copper pots. She walked fast, like she was trying to outrun her anger. She stopped at the edge of the market, near the old fountain that no longer worked. She pressed her palms against the cold stone and breathed deep. Thorn stopped a few steps behind her. Are you following me? She asked without turning around. His heart jumped. No. You're a terrible liar. She turned to face him. Her eyes were brown, deep brown, like rich earth after rain. Who are you? He should lie, give a false name, keep his distance. but something about her eyes made lying feel impossible. "Thorn," he said. "Just Thorn?" "Just Thorn." She studied him. Her gaze moved from his expensive coat to his polished boots, back up to his face. She frowned. "You're from the manor," she said. It was not a question. "Yes." "Then you shouldn't be talking to me." "Why not?" "Because people like you don't talk to people like me. That's how the world works." Thorn stepped closer. The fountain stood between them. "Maybe I don't care how the world works." She laughed. It was a bitter sound. "Everyone cares, especially people from the manor." "You don't know me." "I know enough." She started to walk away. Thorn moved around the fountain, blocked her path. She stopped, looked up at him. He was taller, but she did not seem afraid. "What's your name?" he asked. "Why do you want to know?" "Because you stood up to that baker. Because you didn't back down. Because you're interesting." Her eyes narrowed. "Interesting?" "Yes." She crossed her arms. "My name is Serafina. Now move." "Will you have dinner with me?" The words left his mouth before he could stop them. She stared at him like he had just spoken a different language. "What?" "Dinner. Tonight. With me." "Are you insane?" "Probably." A smile tugged at the corner of her mouth. She fought it, lost. The smile broke free and it changed her whole face, made her beautiful in a way that hurt to look at. "I don't have dinner with strangers," she said. "We're not strangers anymore. I'm Thorn. You're Serafina." "That's not how it works." "Then teach me how it works." She shook her head, but the smile stayed. "You're very strange." "Is that a yes?" "It's a no." She walked around him. This time he did not stop her. He watched her disappear into the crowd. His chest felt tight. His hands felt empty. 97 days left. He could not waste them. Day 7. Serafina worked at the village library. It was a small building. Old stone, older books. The windows were narrow and the door creaked when it opened. Thorn pushed it open on the 7th day of his curse. She stood behind a wooden desk, a book open in front of her. She looked up when he entered. Her expression shifted from surprise to annoyance in half a heartbeat. "No," she said. "I haven't asked anything yet." "You're going to ask me to dinner again. The answer is still no." Thorn walked to the desk. The library smelled like paper and dust and something sweet he could not name. Candles burned in the corners. Their light made shadows dance on the walls. "I'm not here to ask you to dinner," he said. She raised one eyebrow. "Then why are you here?" "I want to borrow a book." "You have a library at the manor, a big one, with more books than this whole village has ever seen." "I want to borrow a book from this library." "Why?" "Because you work here." Her cheeks flushed. She looked back down at her book. "That's a terrible reason." "It's an honest reason." She said nothing, just turned a page. Thorn waited. He was good at waiting. He had learned patience in his father's house, learned to stand still, to stay quiet, to become invisible when needed. But he did not want to be invisible anymore. "What are you reading?" he asked. "A story." "What kind of story?" "That kind that's better than real life." Thorn leaned against the desk. "Is real life so bad?" She looked up. Her eyes were different today. Sadder, tired. "Real life is hard," she said. "Stories let you escape for a while." "What are you escaping from?" She closed the book, stood up. "You ask too many questions." "You don't answer enough." A smile ghosted across her face. She moved from behind the desk, walked to a shelf on the far wall. Her fingers traced the spines of books. Thorn followed, stood beside her, close enough to smell lavender in her hair. "If you want a book, take one," she said. "But then you have to leave." "Why?" "Because you make me nervous." "Why do I make you nervous?" She pulled a book from the shelf, handed it to him. Their fingers touched. Just for a moment. Just long enough for heat to spark between them. "Because you look at me like I matter," she said quietly. "And people like you aren't supposed to look at people like me that way." Thorn took the book, did not look at it, only looked at her. "You do matter," he said. "You don't know anything about me. Then tell me. Let me know you." She shook her head, stepped back, put distance between them. "Go home, Thorn. Go back to your manor. Forget you ever saw me." "I can't." "Why not?" "Because I'm dying," he wanted to say. "Because I have 93 days left, and I don't want to spend them alone. Because when I look at you, I feel alive." But he did not say any of that. "Because you're interesting," he said instead. She laughed, that same bitter laugh from the market. "You keep saying that." "Because it keeps being true." She looked at him for a long moment. Something shifted in her eyes. Some wall came down. Just a little. Just enough. "One dinner," she said. His heart jumped. "What?" "One dinner, that's all. Then you leave me alone." "When?" "Tomorrow night. Meet me at the fountain. Not the manor, not anywhere fancy. Just the fountain." Thorn nodded. Could not speak. Could not breathe. She walked back to her desk, sat down, opened her book again. "Now leave. You're disturbing my reading." He left. Walked out into the afternoon sun. The book in his hands felt heavy. He looked down at the title. Romeo and Juliet. A love story. A tragedy. He wondered which one his story would be. Day 8. Thorn met her at the fountain. She wore the same brown dress. Her hair was pulled back. She carried a basket covered with cloth. When she saw him, she did not smile, but she did not frown either. "You came," he said. "I said I would." "People don't always do what they say." She tilted her head, studied him. "You sound like you know that from experience." He did, but he did not want to talk about his father, about the manor, about the curse counting down his days. "Where are we going?" he asked instead. "Follow me." She led him through the village, past houses with warm light in the windows, past the church with its tall steeple, past the edge of the village into the fields beyond. The sun was setting. The sky burned orange and pink. The air smelled like grass and earth and coming rain. She stopped at the top of a small hill. A single tree stood there, old and twisted. Its branches reached toward the sky like arms. "This is my favorite place," she said. She sat down under the tree, set the basket beside her. Thorn sat across from her. The grass was soft. The view stretched for miles. "Why is it your favorite?" he asked. "Because no one bothers me here. Because it's quiet. Because I can breathe." She opened the basket, pulled out bread and cheese and apples. Simple food, but it looked better than any feast he had ever seen at the manor. "You made this?" he asked. "I did." "Thank you." They ate in silence. The sun sank lower. Shadows grew long. Thorn watched her. The way she chewed. The way her eyes drifted to the horizon. The way she seemed completely at peace. "Why did you agree to this?" he asked. She looked at him. "To dinner?" "Yes." "I don't know." She pulled her knees to her chest, wrapped her arms around them. "Maybe because you're different. Maybe because I was curious. Maybe because I'm tired of being alone." "You're alone?" "Everyone's alone. Some of us just hide it better." Thorn understood that. He had been alone his whole life, surrounded by people but never truly seen, never truly known. "Tell me about you," he said. "What do you want to know?" "Everything." She laughed, a real laugh this time, not bitter, not sad, just light and free and beautiful. "That's a lot," she said. "We have time." "Liar," a voice whispered in his head. "You have 90 tubes. Days." But he pushed the thought away. Right now, in this moment, under this tree with this girl, he had all the time in the world. "I grew up in the village," Serafina said. "My parents died when I was young. Fever took them both in the same winter. I was raised by my aunt. She taught me to read, to think, to question everything." "Is she still alive?" "No. She died 3 years ago. Now I'm alone." "I'm sorry." She shrugged. "Everyone loses people. That's part of living." "Do you have friends?" "A few, but they're busy with their own lives. Husbands, children. I don't fit into that world." "Why not?" "Because I don't want to get married just to survive. I don't want to have children just because it's expected. I want more." "What do you want?" She looked at the sky. The first stars were appearing, tiny points of light in the growing dark. "I want to travel," she said. "I want to see the ocean. I want to visit cities I've only read about in books. I want to live 100 different lives." Her voice was full of longing, full of dreams. Thorn felt something crack inside his chest. "Why don't you?" he asked. "Because I'm poor. Because I'm a woman. Because the world doesn't let people like me have dreams." "The world is wrong." She looked at him. Her eyes were wet, but she was smiling. "You're very strange, Thorn." "You keep saying that." "Because it keeps being true."
They sat in silence. The night deepened. The air grew cold. Thorn wanted to reach out, to take her hand, to tell her he understood, that he also felt trapped, that he also wanted more, but he did not. Not yet. "Tell me about you," she said. His stomach tightened. "There's not much to tell." "I don't believe that." "I live at the manor. My father runs the estate. I'm supposed to take over someday." "Is that what you want?" No. He wanted to scream it. He wanted to tell her the truth, that he was dying, that he had 92 days left, that everything he had ever known felt meaningless now. But he could not. Not yet. "I don't know what I want," he said instead. She nodded, like she understood. "That's honest." "Is it enough?" "For now." They packed up the basket, walked back to the village together. The streets were empty. Everyone was inside, safe, warm, unaware that the world was counting down. They stopped at the fountain. "Thank you," Thorn said. "For what?" "For tonight, for sharing your favorite place with me, for talking to me like I'm real." She frowned. "Why wouldn't you be real?" "Most people don't see me. They see the manor, the money, the name, but not me." She stepped closer, looked up at him. Her face was serious. "I see you," she said. 3 words. They hit him like a physical blow. His breath caught, his heart raced. He wanted to kiss her, wanted to pull her close and never let go. But he did not. Not yet. "Can I see you again?" he asked. "I thought this was only one dinner." "It was. But I want more." She bit her lip, thinking, deciding. Finally, she nodded. "Tomorrow," she said. "Meet me at the library, afternoon." "I'll be there." She turned to leave, stopped, looked back. "Thorn?" "Yes?" "Why me?" He did not hesitate. "Because when I'm with you, I feel alive." She smiled, then she was gone, disappeared into the night. Thorn stood by the fountain for a long time,
staring at the stars, feeling something he had never felt before. Hope. Day 15. They met every day after that. At the library, at the fountain, under the tree on the hill. Thorn learned everything about her. Her favorite color was blue. She hated mushrooms. She could recite entire poems from memory. She laughed with her whole body. She cried during sad stories. She believed in magic, even though she pretended not to. And Serafina learned about him too. That he played piano but never performed for anyone. That he was afraid of deep water. That his favorite time of day was dawn. That he felt like a stranger in his own home. That he had never been in love. Until now. He did not say that part out loud, but he felt it, in his chest, in his bones, in the way his heart beat faster every time he saw her. They were sitting under the tree. The afternoon sun warmed their skin. Serafina lay in the grass, her eyes closed, a peaceful smile on her face. Thorn watched her, memorized her, the curve of her cheek, the way her hair spread around her head like a dark halo, the rise and fall of her breathing. 85 days left. The number haunted him. Every morning he woke and counted. Every night he fell asleep and counted. The curse was always there, a weight on his chest, a shadow over everything. But when he was with Serafina, he forgot. For a few hours, he was not dying. He was just alive. "What are you thinking about?" she asked without opening her eyes. "You." She smiled. "Liar." "It's true." She opened one eye, looked at him. "You're always thinking about something serious. I can tell. Your face gets all tight." He forced his expression to relax. "I don't know what you mean." "There you go again." She sat up. Grass stuck to her hair. He reached out without thinking, plucked it away. His fingers brushed her cheek. She went still. Her breath caught. Their eyes met. The world narrowed to just this moment, just the two of them, just the inches between their faces. "Thorn," she whispered. "Yes?" "What are we doing?" "I don't know." "This is dangerous." "I know." "People will talk. Your father will be angry. The village will judge me." "I don't care." "You should." "But I don't." She looked away, but she did not pull back, did not move. "I'm scared." "Of what?" "Of this. Of you. Of the way I feel when I'm with you." His heart hammered. "How do you feel?" She met his eyes again. Hers were wet, shining, full of something that looked like fear and hope and longing all mixed together. "Like I'm falling," she said, "and I don't know if you'll catch me." He cupped her face with both hands. His thumbs brushed her cheeks. She leaned into his touch, closed her eyes. "I'll catch you," he said. "I promise." "You can't promise that." "Why not?" "Because nothing lasts forever. Because people leave. Because life is cruel and unfair and full of endings." She was right. He knew she was right. In 85 days he would be gone. The curse would take him. She would be left alone again. But he could not tell her that. Not yet. "Then let's make it last as long as we can," he said. She opened her eyes, searched his face. "What are you not telling me?" His chest tightened. "What do you mean?" "There's something. I can feel it. Something you're hiding." She was too perceptive, too smart. She saw through him in ways no one ever had. "Everyone has secrets," he said. "Is yours bad?" "It's complicated." "Will you tell me?" "Someday." "Promise?" He should not. Promising meant hoping. Hoping meant believing he had a future, and he did not. But he looked into her eyes, and he could not help himself. "I promise," he lied. She smiled, then she leaned forward, pressed her lips to his forehead. Soft, gentle. It was not a real kiss, but it felt like one. It felt like everything. "I trust you," she whispered against his skin. The words broke something inside him. He pulled her close, held her. She wrapped her arms around him. They stayed like that, two people clinging to each other on a hill under a tree while the world spun on. And for a moment, just a moment, Thorn let himself believe that the curse was not real, that he had more than 85 days, that he could keep her forever. Day 23. His father found out. Thorn was in the garden when the summons came. A servant appeared, pale-faced, nervous. "Your father wants to see you. Now." Thorn's stomach dropped. He knew. Somehow his father knew. He walked to the study. Each step felt heavier than the last. The door was open. His father stood by the fireplace, his back to the room. "Close the door," his father said. Thorn obeyed. The click of the latch sounded like a gunshot. "You've been seeing a girl from the village." It was not a question. Thorn said nothing. "Her name is Serafina. She works at the library. She's poor. She's nobody." Anger flared in Thorn's chest. "Don't talk about her like that." His father turned. His face was hard, cold. "I'll talk about her however I want. She's a distraction, a mistake, and you will end it." "No." The word hung in the air. His father's eyes widened, just slightly. Thorn had never said no to him before, not once in his entire life. "What did you say?" "I said no. I'm not ending it." His father crossed the room in 3 strides, stood directly in front of Thorn. "You have 77 days left, 77 days to live, and you're wasting them on a girl who means nothing." "She means everything. She's a fantasy, a pretty distraction. When you're gone, she'll forget you. She'll move on. She'll find some farmer to marry and she'll never think of you again." Each word was a knife, but Thorn did not flinch. "Maybe," he said, "but at least I'll have lived. At least I'll have felt something real." "Real?" his father laughed. "You want to talk about real? Real is the curse. Real is the fact that you're dying. Real is that no matter what you do, no matter how hard you fight, you will be dead in 77 days. "I know." "Then act like it. Stop pretending. Stop playing house with some village girl. Accept your fate." "Is that what you did? Did you accept it?" His father went very still. His jaw clenched. "I survived. Because the curse passed to someone else. Because someone else died so you could live. That's not surviving. That's hiding." His father's hand shot out, grabbed Thorn's collar, pulled him close. "You know nothing about what I did, what I sacrificed, what I lost." "Then tell me." "No." "Why not?" "Because it doesn't matter. Because you're dying and nothing I say will change that." His father released him, stepped back. His shoulders sagged. Suddenly he looked old, tired, broken. "Leave the girl alone," his father said quietly. "Don't make this harder than it has to be. It's already hard. It will be harder when you're gone and she's left with nothing but memories of a dead man." Thorn's throat tightened. He wanted to argue, to fight, but part of him knew his father was right. He was being selfish. Serafina deserved better than a boy with an expiration date. But he could not let her go. Not yet. "I'm sorry," Thorn said. His father looked up. Hope flickered in his eyes. "You'll end it?" "No. I'm sorry that you're too afraid to live. I'm sorry that you spent your life hiding from everything. I'm sorry that you never took a chance on anything real." The hope died. His father's face went blank. "Get out," his father said. "Father." "Get out, and don't come back until you're ready to stop being a fool." Thorn left. He walked through the manor, out the front door, down the long drive. He did not stop until he reached the village. He found Serafina at the library. She looked up when he entered. Her smile faded when she saw his face. "What's wrong?" He crossed the room, pulled her into his arms, held her so tight it hurt. "Thorn, you're scaring me." "I'm sorry." "For what?" "For everything. For being selfish. For dragging you into this." She pulled back, looked up at him. Her hands framed his face. "Tell me what's wrong." He wanted to. God, he wanted to. But the words stuck in his throat. "I can't." "Why not?" "Because I'm afraid." "Of what?" "Of losing you." Her expression softened. She stood on her toes, pressed her forehead to his. "You're not losing me," she whispered. "I'm right here." "For how long?" "For as long as you want me." "Forever." She smiled, sad and sweet and devastating. "Forever is a long time." "Not long enough." She kissed him. It was their first real kiss. Her lips were soft, warm. She tasted like honey and hope. Thorn kissed her back, poured everything he could not say into it, all his fear, all his love, all his desperate need to make this moment last. When they pulled apart, she was crying. "Why are you crying?" he asked. "Because I love you," she said. "And I don't know why that makes me so sad." He wiped her tears with his thumbs. "Don't be sad." "Then tell me what's wrong. Tell me why you look at me like you're saying goodbye." "I'm not saying goodbye." "It feels like you are." She was too smart, too perceptive. She saw right through him. "I'm sick," he said. It was not quite the truth, but it was close enough. Her face went white. "What?" "I'm sick, and I don't have much time." "How much time?" 77 days. She stumbled back. Her hand covered her mouth. Her eyes were wide, terrified. "No," she whispered. "I'm sorry." "No, you're lying. You have to be lying." "I'm not." She shook her head, over and over, like she could deny reality by refusing to accept it. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I wanted to be normal, just for a little while. I wanted to be with you without death hanging over us." "But it is hanging over us. It's been there this whole time and you didn't tell me." "I know. I'm sorry." "Sorry?" She laughed. It was a broken sound. "You're sorry?" "Thorn, I fell in love with you. I let myself hope. I let myself dream. And now you're telling me you're dying?" "Yes." "That's not fair." "I know." "That's cruel." "I know." She turned away. Her shoulders shook. He wanted to go to her, to hold her, to make it better, but he could not move. "Leave," she said. "Serafina, leave. I need to think. I need to breathe. Just leave." He wanted to argue, to stay, to fight for her. But he had done enough damage. He left, walked back into the cold. The day had turned gray. Rain threatened. Everything felt wrong. He had told her, and it had broken her, just like he knew it would. Day 30. Serafina did not come to the library. Thorn waited outside every day, morning, noon, evening. She never appeared. He went to her cottage, knocked on the door. No answer. He asked people in the village if they had seen her. They looked at him with pity, shook their heads, told him to leave her alone. He was losing her. No, he had already lost her. On the 30th day he sat by the fountain, the same fountain where they had first talked. The water was dirty. Leaves floated on the surface. Everything was dying, just like him. "You look terrible." He looked up. Serafina stood a few feet away. She wore a gray cloak. Her face was pale. Her eyes were red. "You're here," he said. "I'm here." She sat beside him. They did not touch, did not look at each other, just sat in silence while the world moved around them. "I've been thinking," she said finally. "About what?" "About you, about us, about what you told me." His chest tightened. "And?" "That, I'm angry. I'm so angry at you, Thorn. You lied to me. You let me fall in love with you knowing you were going to leave." "I know. But I'm also angry at myself, because even knowing the truth, I still love you. I still want to be with you, and that makes me feel stupid." "You're not stupid." "Then what am I?" He finally looked at her. Her eyes were full of pain and love, and something that looked like determination. "You're brave," he said. She laughed bitterly. "I don't feel brave." "You are. Because you're here. Because you came back." "I almost didn't." "What changed your mind?" She turned to face him fully, took his hands in hers. "I realized that 70 days with you is better than a lifetime without you. I realized that I would rather have something real and short than nothing at all. I realized that love isn't about how long it lasts. It's about how deeply you feel it." His eyes burned. "Serafina, let me finish. You have 70 days left, 70 days to live, and I want to spend every single one of them with you. I want to make them count. I want to make them matter. I want to make you feel alive." "You already do." She leaned forward, kissed him. It was different from their first kiss. This one was desperate, fierce, full of grief and love and defiance. "Then let's not waste any more time," she whispered against his lips. "What do you want to do?" She pulled back. Her eyes were bright now, determined. "Everything. I want to do everything. I want to show you the world. I want to live a whole lifetime in 70 days. "How?" She stood, pulled him to his feet. "Trust me." Day 32. They left the village before dawn. Serafina had planned everything. Packed bags, borrowed a cart and horse, drawn a map of all the places she had ever dreamed of going. "Where are we going?" Thorn asked as they rode away from the village. "The ocean," she said. "You've never seen it, have you?" "No." "Then that's where we start." It took 3 days to reach the coast. They traveled through forests and fields, slept under the stars, ate bread and cheese and apples, talked about everything and nothing. Thorn felt free for the first time in his life. No father, no manor, no expectations, just the road ahead and the girl beside him. They reached the ocean at sunset. Thorn stood on the beach. The water stretched forever, blue and gray and silver. Waves crashed against the shore. The air tasted like salt. "It's beautiful," he breathed. Serafina smiled. "It's more than beautiful. It's eternal. The ocean was here before us, and it will be here after us. It doesn't care about curses or death or time. It just is." She kicked off her shoes, ran toward the water. Thorn followed. The sand was cold under his feet. The water was colder. But it felt good, real. Serafina splashed him. He splashed her back. They laughed, played, acted like children. As the sun sank into the water, they sat on the beach, soaking wet, shivering, but happier than Thorn had ever been. "Thank you," he said. "For what?" "For this. For showing me the ocean. For making me feel alive." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "We're not done yet. This is just the beginning." Day 45. They traveled everywhere. They went to the capital city, walked through crowded streets, visited museums and markets, ate food from street vendors, danced to music played by strangers. They went to the mountains, climbed until their legs ached, stood at the peak and screamed into the wind, felt small and infinite all at once. They went to a lake hidden in a forest, swam in water so clear they could see the bottom, made love under the trees, whispered promises they both knew might be broken. Every day was a gift. Every moment was precious. Thorn stopped counting the days, stopped thinking about the curse. He lived in the present, in the now, in Serafina's smile and laugh and touch. But the curse did not forget him. On the 45th day he woke with pain in his chest. It was not unbearable, just a dull ache, a reminder, a warning. Serafina noticed. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine." "Liar." He tried to smile. "I'm fine, just tired." She did not believe him, but she did not push. She just held his hand tighter as they walked through the town they were visiting. That night, the pain got worse. He lay in bed, sweating, breathing hard. Serafina pressed a cool cloth to his forehead. "Tell me what's happening," she said. "It's the curse. It's starting." "What can I do?" "Nothing. Just stay with me." "I'm not going anywhere." She climbed into bed beside him, held him, sang softly. Her voice was the only thing that made the pain bearable. By morning the pain had faded, but Thorn knew. It was beginning. The end was coming. Day 50. They were running out of time. Thorn felt it in his bones. Every morning it was harder to wake up. Every step took more effort. The pain came and went, sometimes just an ache, sometimes sharp and brutal. But he did not stop. Serafina pushed him forward. She planned their days carefully now, made sure he rested, made sure he ate, made sure he took medicine she got from healers in the towns they passed through. "You need to slow down," she said one afternoon. They were walking through a field of wildflowers. The sky was blue. The air was warm. It was a perfect day. "I don't want to slow down," Thorn said. "I want to live." "You are living, but you're hurting yourself." "I'd rather hurt and live than be comfortable and waste what time I have left." She stopped walking, looked at him with tears in her eyes. "I'm scared." "Of what?" "Of losing you, of watching you fade, of the day you don't wake up." He pulled her close, held her tight. "I'm scared too." "Then why are we doing this? Why are we pretending we can outrun death?" "Because we can't outrun it, but we can face it on our terms. We can fill these days with so much life that death can't take it all away." She buried her face in his chest, sobbed. He held her, let her cry, felt his own tears fall. "I love you," she said. "I love you too." "I don't want you to go." "I know." "It's not fair." "I know." They stood in the field, holding each other, two people against the world, against time, against fate. And for just a moment, it felt like enough. Day 60. They returned to the village. Thorn was too weak to travel anymore. The pain was constant now. He could barely walk, could barely eat, could barely think through the fog in his head. Serafina brought him to her cottage, laid him in her bed, covered him with blankets, sat beside him day and night. "You should rest," he said one evening. His voice was barely a whisper. "I'm fine." "You're exhausted." "I don't care." He reached for her hand. She took it. Her fingers were warm, real, alive. "Serafina." "Yes?" "I need to tell you something." Fear flashed in her eyes. "What?" "The curse. It's not just a sickness. It's magic. Dark magic. It's been in my family for generations." She frowned. "What do you mean?" "My grandfather died from it. My uncle. It passes from person to person, and now it's mine." "Can it be broken?" I don't know. My father said no, but... But what? But I wonder. Maybe there's a way. Maybe if I had more time I could find it. She stood abruptly. Then we'll find it. We'll search. We'll try everything. Serafina. No. Don't give up. Not yet. Not while you're still here. She left the room, came back with books. Old books. Worn books. Books from the library. Books from healers. Books from anyone who might know about curses. She read through the night, page after page, searching, hoping, desperate. Thorn watched her. His heart ached. Not from the curse, but from love. From the knowledge that she was fighting for him even when he had already given up. There, she said suddenly. What? This, listen. A curse of time can be broken by an act of true selflessness. One life for another. One heart willing to sacrifice everything. She looked up. Her eyes were wild, bright. That's it. That's how we break it. Thorn's blood went cold. No. Yes, someone just has to... No. He sat up, ignoring the pain, ignoring the way the room spun. I know what you're thinking, and the answer is no. Thorn, I won't let you die for me. It's not your choice. Yes, it is. I'm telling you no. I forbid it. She slammed the book shut. You don't get to forbid me anything. This is my choice, my life, my decision. Serafina, please, don't do this. Why not? Why should you die when there's a way to save you? Because I'm already dying. Because I've made peace with it. Because I would rather die than watch you sacrifice yourself for me. I love you. I love you too. That's why I'm saying no. She shook her head. Tears streamed down her face. I can't lose you. You won't. Even when I'm gone, you'll have me. In your memories, in your heart. I'll always be with you. That's not enough. It has to be. She collapsed beside the bed, buried her face in the blankets, sobbed. Thorn ran his fingers through her hair, whispered words of comfort. But he knew. There was no comfort. There was only the end. Day 75. Thorn could not leave the bed anymore. The pain was too much, the weakness too great. He drifted in and out of consciousness. Sometimes he dreamed, sometimes he woke. It was hard to tell the difference. Serafina was always there. She read to him, sang to him, told him stories, held his hand, pressed kisses to his forehead, whispered that she loved him. He tried to respond, tried to tell her he loved her too, but the words came out garbled, broken. She understood anyway. One afternoon, he woke to find his father sitting beside the bed. You came, Thorn rasped. His father's face was haggard. I came. Why? Because you're my son. Because I should have come sooner. Because I was wrong. Thorn tried to sit up. His father helped him, propped pillows behind his back. Where's Serafina? Thorn asked. Getting water. She'll be back soon. They sat in silence. The air was heavy, full of unspoken things. I'm sorry, his father said finally. For what? For everything. For not being the father you needed. For being afraid. For letting the curse control my life. It's okay. It's not, but thank you for saying so. His father reached out, took Thorn's hand. His grip was strong, steady. She loves you, his father said. That girl, Serafina, she loves you more than I've ever seen anyone love another person. I know. You're lucky. I am. I never had that. I married because it was expected. I had you because it was my duty. But I never loved. Not like this. Not like you two. It's not too late. His father laughed, a sad sound. For me it is, but not for you. You lived more in these 75 days than I have in my entire life. Then it was worth it. Yes, it was. Serafina returned. She stopped when she saw Thorn's father. Her expression hardened. "You," she said. "Me," his father replied. "You told him to stay away from me. You called me nobody." "I did, and I was wrong. I'm sorry." She studied him, then nodded. "Apology accepted. Now leave." His father stood, looked at Thorn one last time. "Goodbye, son." "Goodbye, father." His father left. Serafina took his place beside the bed. She looked exhausted, pale, thin. She was fading too. Not from a curse, but from grief. "You need to eat," Thorn said. "I'm fine." "You're not. Please, take care of yourself." "I will. After." "After what?" "After you're better." "Serafina, don't say it. Just let me hope." So he did. He let her hope. Even though he knew. There were only 25 days left. Day 90. Thorn could not speak anymore. The curse had taken his voice, his strength, almost everything. He could barely move, could barely breathe. Each inhale was a battle, each exhale a victory. But he was still here, still alive, still with her. Serafina read to him from Romeo and Juliet, the book he had borrowed from her library on day 7. It felt like a lifetime ago. "These violent delights have violent ends," she read. Her voice was soft, gentle. "And in their triumph die, like fire and powder, which as they kiss, consume." She closed the book, looked at him. Her eyes were dry now. She had no more tears left. "I understand it now," she said. "The play, why they died. It wasn't because they were foolish. It was because they loved so completely that living without each other was impossible." Thorn wanted to argue, to tell her that was wrong, that she had to live, that she had to go on without him. But he could not speak. He could only look at her, try to tell her with his eyes. She understood. "I know," she said. "You want me to live. You want me to move on. You want me to be happy." He blinked. "Yes. I will. Someday. But not yet. Right now, I just want to be here with you." She climbed into bed beside him, carefully, gently. She rested her head on his chest, right over his heart. "It's still beating," she whispered. "You're still here." He managed to lift his hand, placed it on her hair, stroked once, twice. She closed her eyes. "I'm going to tell you a story. A story about a girl and a boy who had 100 days together, and in those 100 days, they lived a whole lifetime. They laughed and cried and fought and loved. They saw the ocean and the mountains and everything in between. And when the 100 days were over, the boy died. But he didn't really die, because the girl carried him with her, in her heart, in her memories, in every breath she took. So, in a way, he lived forever." She paused, swallowed hard. And the girl went on, because that's what he wanted. She lived for both of them. She traveled the world like they had planned. She saw all the things they had dreamed of. And every time she saw something beautiful, she thought of him. And she smiled, because even though he was gone, he had given her the greatest gift. He had taught her how to live, how to love, how to be brave. Her voice broke. And she was grateful, so grateful. For every moment, for every day, for every breath they shared. Thorn's chest felt tight, not from pain, but from love, from overwhelming, impossible love. He wanted to tell her she was strong, that she was brave, that she would survive this. But his body was failing. His eyes were closing. The world was fading. The last thing he heard was her voice. "I love you. I love you. I love you." Day 97. Thorn woke. He should not have woken. But he did. The room was dark. Night. Serafina slept beside him, her hand in his. He looked at her. Really looked. Memorized every detail. The curve of her cheek, the sweep of her lashes, the way her lips parted slightly in sleep. She was beautiful. She was everything. With great effort he moved, sat up. The pain was distant now, like it was happening to someone else. His body felt light, strange. He was dying. He could feel it, the curse tightening, squeezing, preparing to take him. But not yet. Not quite yet. He reached for the paper and pen on the bedside table. Writing was agony. His hand shook. The letters were barely legible, but he managed. One sentence, then another, and another. When he finished, he folded the paper, set it beside Serafina where she would find it. Then he lay back down, pulled her close, breathed in the scent of lavender in her hair, and he let go. Day 100. Serafina woke to silence, the kind of silence that meant everything had changed. She knew before she looked, before she checked, before she felt for a pulse that was no longer there. Thorn was gone. She did not scream, did not cry. She had done all that already. Now she was just empty. She lay beside him, held his hand. It was cold now, but she did not let go. The sun rose. Light filled the room, turned everything gold. She saw the paper then, folded beside her, her name written in Thorn's shaky handwriting. She opened it. Serafina, I do not have words for what you gave me. You took a dying man and made him feel immortal. You took 100 days and turned them into eternity. You taught me how to live, how to love, how to hope. Do not mourn me. I lived more in these 100 days than most people live in 100 years. I loved and was loved in return. I saw the world through your eyes. I felt alive. You are the strongest person I have ever known. You will survive this. You will go on. You will live the life we dreamed of. And when you do, think of me. Remember me. Know that I am with you always. You made me immortal, Serafina, because as long as you remember me, I will never truly die. I love you, forever. Thorn. The tears came then, silent, heavy. She pressed the letter to her chest, closed her eyes. I love you too, she whispered. Forever. 3 years later, Serafina stood on a cliff overlooking the ocean. She had traveled everywhere, just like they had planned. She had seen cities and mountains and deserts and seas. She had lived 100 different lives, and in every place she felt him with her. In the wind, in the sun, in the stars. She pulled a small box from her pocket. Inside was the ring Thorn had given her on day 95. A simple silver band, nothing fancy, but it meant everything. She slipped it on her finger, like she did every day. I did it, she said to the wind. I lived for both of us, just like I promised. She smiled, not a sad smile, a real one, because she had learned the truth. Love did not end when someone died. It changed, it evolved, but it did not end. Thorn was gone, but he was also with her, in her heart, in her memories, in every breath she took. He had given her 100 days, and she had spent every one making him feel immortal. And now, in her own way, she was immortal too, because their love was eternal, and nothing, not even death, could take that away.